I taught women how to avoid heartbreak, until I became the lesson. I'm 30. I hold a degree in psychology, a master's in gender studies, and I've spent a decade studying relationships. I know how attachment forms. I can name your attachment style from one glance. I've taught others how to recognize toxic patterns. I've led workshops. I've written articles about love, loss, and the power of staying true to yourself. And I promised myself, this would never happen to me. I wouldn't fall into the trap. I wouldn't slip. I knew the game too well. But it turns out I was studying chess, and life threw me into a back alley brawl where no one plays by the rules. In January, I packed a suitcase and gave myself a break. Tenerife. An island of soft sun, salt air, and lime-sweet breezes. Back home in the States, I thought I had it all. Ocean? Check. Canyons? Check. Freedom? Check. Why travel? But one night changed my everything. I was sitting on Benaho Beach, the kind of place where the waves crash deeper, where sunsets take their time. Where no one is rushing to live. And that's where I saw him. He was reading a book. Surfboard to the side, hair still wet from the ocean. And his gaze, steady. Not a predator. Not a charmer. Just a man who wasn't in a hurry. He was from England. Early 40s. Divorced. 2 kids. And, as he said, a past I've made peace with. He was polite. Present. Not performing. Not pushing. He didn't try to make me fall for him. And maybe that's why. I opened up. We met every night. No promises. No plans. Just moments that felt worth remembering. But moments turned into days. Days into embraces. And soon, something dangerously close to what if. I didn't want to fall. But he held my hands like he knew how long I'd been guarding them. And I believed. Belief is the most dangerous thing a strong woman can do. I know what falling in love looks like. I've studied it from the inside out, biochemistry, neurons, adrenaline, dopamine. I know the brain tricks you. That feelings are sometimes just a body craving warmth. But with him, it wasn't just warmth. It was the feeling that I had finally stopped analyzing. And started living. We sat on a bench facing the ocean. He told me about his kids, the one who loves building with Lego, the other who plays piano. His voice didn't change when he talked about his ex. No bitterness. No dodging. Just. We lived. Then we stopped. But I'm grateful to her for our children. I remember thinking, this is it. Maturity. Peace. A past that's been processed. We met every day. The beach. The market. That little cafe with the lemon cake, where the waiter already knew our order. He held my hand like I had always been a part of his life. And I let him. You can't imagine what it's like, to spend years controlling every emotion, and then, just drift. I caught myself thinking that, for the first time in forever, I wasn't asking. Is he manipulating me? I wasn't looking for red flags. I wasn't Googling his last name. I wasn't checking his socials. I was just, breathing. He gave me a small shell pendant. So you'll remember this beach when you go back, he said. Although. I really hope you don't go. I smiled. Because deep down, I already knew, I didn't want to go. And worse, I started imagining. What if this is the one? Not perfect. But mine. The woman who spent years decoding love. Started to believe in magic. And it's always right then. When your heart is wide open. That life decides to tear every lock off the door. We didn't talk about her much. Just that he'd let go. That it was in the past. That she was a different chapter, one that doesn't hold power anymore. And I believed him. Because I believed in us. Because, when you're happy, you stop looking for shadows in the light. But still, something shifted. At first, it seemed small. He got a message during dinner. I watched his face tighten. Everything okay? Yeah. Just something about the kids. I nodded. But his voice was too flat. And his grip on the phone, a little too tight. Then, another slip. We were sitting by the ocean, and her name just came out. She was always afraid of waves. I mean, her? I asked softly. Yeah. But we don't talk anymore. Don't talk anymore. But you know, when something is truly over, you don't say it like that. Like it still lingers. Like it still matters. And then, she messaged me. Yes. His ex. A DM on Instagram. No hello. No fluff. Just. Did he convince you too, that he doesn't love me anymore? I read it like a glitch in my timeline. Him? Me? Still love you? I didn't reply right away. I took a screenshot. And showed it to him. He went quiet. For too long. Then finally. She's playing. She can't let go. But I swear, I'm with you. And I nodded. Calm on the outside. But inside, the trust one had carefully, slowly built, started to splinter. Because even if everything he said was true, why do I feel like she's still here? Not physically. But inside him. I don't know how she pulled it off. But the video was real. Short. Silent. But with everything you need, to stop sleeping peacefully. He was in a bar. She, not his ex, someone else, sitting close, laughing, touching his hand, leaning in. And he didn't pull away. Didn't turn his head. He just let it happen. I sat in my room, phone in hand, watching everything burn. The thing I thought was real, the thing I thought was mine. The video was sent by her. His ex. Stop looking at him like he's perfect. He was never yours. Never will be. He came over that evening. With wine. Smiling. Relaxed. And I realized, he didn't know that I knew. Beautiful day, wasn't it? Incredible, I replied, barely breathing. Wanna hike the cliffs tomorrow? I handed him the phone. No words. Just pressed play. He watched. And he didn't deny it. Didn't say, that's not me. Didn't say, this is out of context. He said. It meant nothing. I was tired. She came up. I didn't want drama. And right then, I understood. He didn't see it as betrayal. Because there was no kiss. No touch. Because nothing happened. But I felt the betrayal in my bones. Because when you build trust over time, betrayal isn't the kiss. It's the moment he silently agrees when someone crosses the line. I didn't lie to you, he said. You didn't stop it, I replied. And that's worse. That night, I left his room. No screaming. No luggage. Just me. And the most painful part wasn't the betrayal. It was realizing. He didn't care, until I saw it. The next morning I woke up alone. No message pings. No smell of coffee. No breath beside me. And you know what? It wasn't scary. It was clean. When you spend years teaching others how not to betray themselves, and then end up living next to a lie, you wake up feeling like you've finally escaped a cage you built for yourself. He texted. I didn't mean to hurt you. It wasn't serious. I just panicked. Panic isn't an apology. It's a way to dodge responsibility. I didn't reply. I didn't block him. I just said nothing. Because some things don't need explaining. If he didn't understand then, he never would. I went back to that beach. The one where we first met. Sat in the wet sand, took out the shell he gave me, and held it in my hands. I didn't cry. Because this wasn't about pain anymore. It was about the end of trust. I used to think betrayal was the worst thing. Now I know. The worst is staying after betrayal, pretending nothing changed. That night, I wrote one sentence. I've seen everything I needed to see. That's enough. And I hit send. Not for him. For me. To kill the what if. To silence the voice that still whispered maybe. I came back to the States changed. Not broken, but an open wound healing without a bandage to cover it. My friends said. You knew better. How could you? You taught others never to settle. Have you forgotten who you are? I hadn't forgotten. If anything, I was seeing myself clearly for the first time. Knowledge isn't armor. It's a tool. But when your heart speaks, theory goes quiet. I sat at home, revisiting my old lectures, webinars, recordings. And I heard my own voice. A strong woman isn't one who never falls. She's the one who gets back up, and allows herself to feel. I had said that. And now. I had to live it. This wasn't a fight with him. It was a fight with myself. Between. He betrayed me. And. He's human. He messed up. And maybe. I can still love him, knowing that. Between. I deserve better. And. Maybe better isn't perfect. It's real. And when I was alone, in a room filled with everything familiar, I felt something changing inside me. Not breaking. Growing. Because love isn't about perfection. It's about choice. And I didn't know it yet. But I was about to make mine. He came. I hadn't waited. Hadn't messaged. Hadn't hinted. But one day, a knock, a door, and his eyes. No flowers. No speeches. Just him. And eyes without certainty. Only hope. I don't know if I deserve to stand here. But I am. Because you're the only one I want to be honest with, completely. And I listened. Not as a psychologist. Not as the woman who can break emotions into patterns. I listened as a human. Who remembered every touch, every conversation, every silence that said more than words ever could. I was scared. I ran. I let my old self ruin something new. But if you'll let me, I want to start again. This time, no lies. They told me love is weakness. That forgiveness is surrender. That I should respect myself more. But I respect myself enough to let myself feel. Even when it's not logical. Even when others wouldn't understand. I forgave him. Not because I forgot. But because I remember how he held my hands when I was afraid of everything. And even if I had known everything from the start, I'd still take the same trip. Still meet him on that beach. Still fall. Because love isn't about perfection. Or earning. It's about choice. And I choose him. Again. Because these are the feelings we carry with us our whole lives. And life is only one. And if it comes with a little pain. But it comes with him. I'll take it.